Hello again YouTube, and welcome back to Just Get a Tesla. And today I'm doing a video that I wasn't planning on doing today. I was going to be going off on a particularly interesting drive, but the weather has completely kiboshed that. There is this massive thunderstorm system passing through the UK today. So I've decided to abandon that, and instead I don't actually know where I'm going. I'm definitely ending the day at home, but I really have got no idea how I'm going to get there. So I thought, let's just dispel this myth that you get with EVs, that, oh, you can't just go and have an explore the way that you can with a petrol car. Yes, you can, as we're about to see. So it's Saturday morning. I've been down in England for most of the week and I need to head home. And home is Northern Aberdeenshire, as you've probably seen if you're a subscriber on the channel. If not, hit the subscribe button. I had a few ideas about today, and one of them was the definite plan. Well, that already got scrapped, as I said, because of the weather. But I just thought, wouldn't it be interesting to go on a bit of a magical mystery tour? There are some fantastic parts of Northern England and Southern Scotland which I don't get to see very often anymore because of where I now live and the trips that I'm now doing. So with the weather literally chasing me from the back, I'm kind of thinking, what the hell, let's go and have some fun. So on the first leg we are going up as far as Scotch Corner, which is not a charger that I use really at all anymore. And we'll see why when we get there. But I thought, as part of the let's find the alternate rambling way home, let's start off at the supercharger that I never use. So on our way to Scotch Corner, I'll tell you why I don't use it when I get there, and then we'll figure it out from there. So this is an old site. As soon as you've got two cables on the top like that, you know that this is really old. So obviously I want that one. So that's 3B and that one's 3A. So these two are a pair and they do 130 kilowatts between them. So in essence, you absolutely have to choose an unpaired stall. Otherwise, instead of getting 130, you're only going to get a maximum of 65. So I've just plugged this in with a battery which has been preheated, okay, and let's see where it ramps up to. And it's ramping really slowly as well, which is the other point. I mean, come on, 41. Actually, can I do better? Ooh, hello, yes. 97. Yeah, so it's gone 115 we saw there, and it's already slowing down a touch. So yeah, that is about as much as I'm going to get, 113, somewhere around that. So it's not great, but in essence, that is the best that you're going to get. And it's saying now, what's it saying? It's, ooh, hello. Can we get that up? Yeah, charge rate limited by station. So we're not even getting 130, although I probably wouldn't get, I should get 130 actually on this state of charge. Anyway, and yet, I know what people are going to say, and I do get this comment sometimes on videos: Ian, all of this charging, it all looks like a right faff. You're having to think about it a lot and you're having to talk about it a lot. But the only reason I'm doing that is because I'm a YouTuber making a video that involves charging. That is why I'm talking about it. Otherwise, I'd be going where the car tells me to go and charging for how long the car tells me to charge. Knowing the paired stalls bit is probably relevant, but other than that, I wouldn't be thinking about it. I'm only doing this because I'm talking to you now. The other thing about this site, you've got to remember to register to park, which you do inside. And this is the reason that I don't use Scotch Corner very often. Basically, although there's 8 stalls, in effect, if you want any kind of charging speed, there are 4 stalls because there's 4 pairs. But look, we're all neatly split so that nobody is taking anybody else's charging speed, which is good. Right, I'm going to get back in the car and work out where I'm going next. I think we're about to see this in action. Ooh, he's got really rather close. You might want to come back out again, mate, because I'm not sure you're going to be able to get out. But so I'm getting 112. The guy next to me, who's really going to squeeze to get himself out, so he's about to plug in, and my 112 off 130 is then going to drop to, well, 65. So we're going to see this in a second. So I'm getting 111. Yep. He's just come up there next to me. Okay, you ready? Let's see it. Has he plugged it in yet? Yep, you can see there. 111. It's dropped to 84. So it's a 130 site, okay? And I've just dropped from 111 to 84. That's interesting. He might still be ramping up then if I'm only dropped to 84, because I think I should have dropped to 65 if we're splitting it evenly. Okay, 83, 84. Why exactly did he park as close as he did? I mean, it's just not very good. So, 84... I'm going to carry on anyway, because I'm not going to sit here for much longer, happily. Oh, there you go, yeah, 56. So this is the problem. So as soon as my new friend here went and plugged in, you saw my charge rate, after a little bit of pause, dropped by half. A guy has just shifted, so actually what I could do is unplug and shift onto the new pair, and that way we both get a faster charge. In fact, shall we do that for science? Right, so if we get on with this. So I'm now on the opposite side of our friend here. So I was on 3B, he's on 3A. We've now got 2B and 2A, which are unpaired. And I was getting 111 until he plugged in, and then it dropped down to 55. And if we go back on, and again, we're doing this for science. I have got enough to be able to get to my next stop, although at the moment I'm not quite sure where I'm going, so maybe staying here a little bit longer. Click. Oh, that was really slow. This is the other point about these ancient V2 stalls. Everything about them is slow. Their maximum charging rate is slow. Their speed in actually getting going is slow, but can you see 122 kilowatts? So I've gone straight back up to actually an even faster speed than I was getting, because I was on 111 before he plugged in next to me, and I'm getting 117. That is the trick here. Make sure that you're on an unpaired stall, and it is actually worth moving if something like that happens, because I'm now charging at, as you can see, literally double the speed I was 60 seconds ago. Okay, I've had a fiddle around with the map and I know where I'm going. I am definitely going across country. So we are going to go basically past high force waterfall. Well, there could be some high force water coming out of the sky, looking at the weather map. And then we're going to cut ourselves past Carlisle, and then we're going to go all the way up the through the Scottish borders, which again isn't something I do very often. And I'm doing this because, well, I wasn't really sure what to do today, and I thought, let's go back an interesting route. So we've shown what is wrong with charging, okay? Let's go ahead and get across country, because I'm going to get back to Edinburgh with what? Soup? Come on, camera, 16%? Yeah, that's absolutely plenty. So let's go and unplug, and as usual, it's as quick as push the button, yank it out, and stick it back in the hole, and the charging hole has already closed up. Job's a good one. See though, unpaired. Yeah, so it's probably a good job that I'm switched on and I moved, because otherwise he'd be having a poor charging time, and so would I. This video is brought to you by Millibricks, my online store for Lego compatible World War II themed brick building toys, like this cool Soviet IS-2 heavy tank, or these other tanks, or a Lancaster bomber, or indeed a whole load of other planes. Check out the collection at millibricks.co.uk and use the code GET for 10% off. And while I think on another basic point, I don't think sometimes people get just how busy my charging stops are. So with the exception of the minute or so that I spent having a wee, I was filming for almost the entirety of my time that I was there. Almost the entire thing. You practically saw the whole thing on that charging stop. So some of the comments are like, ooh, you're having to park up and you're having to do this. Yes, but in my case, I'm making a YouTube video. And that's partly why I'm there slightly longer, maybe, because I am charging. Did I need to go and hopscotch from one side to the other? No. Am I doing it because of YouTube? Yes. I do like this route across northern England. So you cut through Barnard Castle past the High Force waterfall and then onwards to Ulston, which is quite a pretty market town, although we've definitely got the moody skies today. And then onwards basically towards Brampton, which is east of Carlisle, and then I've got a diversion off this path less travelled already lined up, so I'm not going to follow the route that's in. I found an even better, more interesting diversion that I've suddenly remembered, so we're going to go and do that. In the meantime, this is visitors from around the world, welcome. Of Langholm, and I am taking a bit of a meandery diversion. So we're going to go through Eskdalemuir, which is an absolutely remote chunk of the Scottish borders, to the point where it's a dark skies area. There is no light pollution, so it's fantastic for astronomers, not on a day like today with cloud. So far though, talking about cloud, the massive thunderstorms, of which there are multiple fronts sweeping across the country, according to the radar that I've just seen on the Met Office, I have done a very good job of threading myself through the needle and being in between both of them. So I have only had a couple of showers that have landed on top of me. The roads have been wet the entire trip. It has very clearly been raining quite hard, but it isn't raining quite hard on top of me at the moment. That well may change. I suspect that my meandery route is going to mean that they come and get me. Whatever. But I am enjoying this so far, because despite the slightly apocalyptic weather forecast and some of the radar projections look really quite fruity in terms of rainfall, we're actually having a nice time. And from an efficiency perspective, this kind of route is always good. So on the entire trip up from Sheffield so far, 176 miles, and we've done 228 watt hours per mile, and since Scotch Corner it's been 89 miles and 215 watt hours per mile. So this kind of route is really good for the battery and for range. So yay, the road less travelled is one that you can drive on for longer. And of course, as soon as I said that, the sky's open. It doesn't look dramatically dark overhead, but this is recorded all of 2 minutes after the clip that you just had. It didn't take very long. Okay, no problem. The sky looks fairly bright ahead still, so I suspect we might just be skirting the edge of this, and it'll go back to normal. What? What was that? This is nice, isn't it? Well, I did say at the beginning of the video that we were going to get wet and wild, and here we are. It is absolutely persisting it down. On the A702 just south of the Edinburgh city bypass, and I think this is starting to settle in again, and you can see in front. Well, you can't really see in front, that's kind of the point. It's just increasingly low cloud as this thing settles down on top of us. So I suspect that the run past Edinburgh and northwards is going to get increasingly soggy. Now then, it's gone really misty, and notice I haven't got lights on because the auto lights haven't turned them on. Here's a point, and I've been thinking about this for a little while. I think there should be something in the software that when your wipers are on, your headlights are on. That's what I think. If your windscreen wipers need to be on, then your headlights should be on as well. Some will disagree, but I know in some parts of Europe that's already the law. I think it is at least France, no? Anyway, I think that it would be a good idea, because with the greatest of respect to it, daytime running lights, even in the form of the LED strip on the front, isn't enough. I don't believe that the LED strip is fully lit across the full width at full intensity when you're running either. I need to actually go and check that, and the one on the back definitely isn't. So you need more than just DRLs, you need headlights, and it's a bit of a faff going into the menu. Yes, I could push the light button here which flashes the mains on, but I don't want to do that. It would just be nice if they came on by themselves. They really should do that. And it's just software. Just program it, Tesla. Come on. Stopped at the Tesla Centre in Edinburgh. Free toilet and coffee. Useful. Anyway, the reason why I'm here is the 16 superchargers, of which I plugged into one of them, and I was getting decent speed, 183 I think it was at the top end. It did say charge limited briefly, and then it came back up again, which is helpful. And you know what, it could be worse considering what the weather's supposed to be doing, so I suppose I shouldn't complain that much. So what I think we're going to do is stick it, well, I've already got enough in to get up as far as Perth. It's just a question of, am I going to fuel up all the way to get home? I don't know. Let's get in and have a look. I might see if there's another interesting little bit of diversion that I can do. Oh, I've just realised I left the lights on. Why don't the lights turn themselves off? So as a basic point of understanding, I am still getting 104 kilowatts. The Perth chargers are V2 and they are 150. There's no risk of them being split like there was at Scotch Corner, but I'm going to stick on this until it dips below 100, I think, and then I'll get up the road, have another quick zap and dash at Perth, and maybe grab another drink, and then we'll be good to go. But you can see the little dot on the eye, and that is charger rate limited. I wish it wouldn't keep doing that. Charge rate limited by charging station. I don't actually know why, because I can count. There's 2 megapacks over there, and there's another 2. Whoop, yep, just about see the tops of them there. So we've got 4 megapacks and 16 bays. That should be enough for all of these to charge practically at full speed all the time. And yet here we are, where it's saying charge rate limited, and it's doing weird things. It keeps dipping down a little bit and then going back up a little bit. So not entirely sure. And this, of course, is the bit where the haters then say, it's so hard going charging. You've got to have a degree and things. My car fuels up in 5 minutes. Well, yes, it probably does. But then again, while you're coming off and probably waiting for the petrol pump, because let's be honest, most of you aren't capable of using the long reach hose to go to the hole on either side, are you? You always have to have it next to where your filling hole is, and then you stand there and you're going click click and trying to get it to go all the way in, and then you're going into the shop and you're paying. While you're doing that, you're not actually doing anything else, like going having a wiggly wee like I just did, or talking to camera. So no, you can't do everything that I'm doing in 5 minutes, because I'm not just charging, I'm recording, I'm checking social media, I'm doing whatever else it is that people do while they're stopped. So no, you can't fuel your car up in 5 minutes and do the other stuff. Okay, it's just dropped below 100, and I said I'd go at that point. So 52%, I arrived on 9%. And before somebody asks, no, I don't know how long I've been here. I wasn't paying attention. It isn't relevant. It isn't of interest. I've been here as long as I needed to be here, which is, well, I don't think it's that long. So get that back in there. Let's get out of here. Next stop, Perth, and then we're going to have a look at what meandering route we can do beyond there. Well, this is cool. We're going rather slowly over the Queensferry crossing over the Forth, but we're going rather slowly because, well, can you see? Traffic disappears into the cloud. Disappears into the cloud, which is, the bridge obviously goes up and then back down again. So we're climbing now and then we'll drop. And obviously the middle higher section of the bridge is in low cloud. So we're actually climbing into the sky as we go up here. This is cool. This isn't something that you see that often. Now, obviously, the further in we get, the further we can see, because, you know, it's sort of misty. But that's quite cool. And I've driven over this, obviously, in all kinds of weather conditions, daytime, nighttime. I remember driving over here, and it was absolutely snowing hard, which made for it being quite interesting. But yeah, and obviously, you can't see the tops of the support piers. It just disappears, and you know that's white, and they're white. Can't see anything at all. There is probably something slightly ironic about me wrapping up the end of a "you don't need to be tied to a charger if you have an EV" video when I'm hooked onto a supercharger, but you get the idea. This trip was completely unplanned. I had no clue exactly how I was going to get home this morning, what route I was going to take, what it was worth me actually doing in the midst of what was being forecast to be horrible. putting it mildly. So I had, a little over half charge in the battery, so not a huge amount, and I just set off. And it's been absolutely fine. It's been absolutely fine without any issues. I hope you found some of this interesting in terms of the meandery bits of footage, and also obviously the how to use a Type 2 V2 supercharger earlier on when I was there at Scotch Corner. If any of this has been interesting and relevant to you, please like and subscribe. Subscribing is free and it helps the channel, so thank you very much. Think about buying me a coffee if you really want to help the channel, and I will see you back here very soon on Just Get a Tesla.